Hey guys, what's going on? This is Travis. I'd like to welcome you back to the channel. Well guys, today I'm very excited. I've got a used Lenovo N23 Chromebook here in the box we're going to open it up and take a look at. I decided to call this my Lenovo Chromebook N23 Back to School Special. Basically what we're going to do is we'll take a look at a used Chromebook, and I'm also going to point out some signs to look for if you're in the market for one, some questions you can ask the person trying to sell it to you, and just a few warning signs you might want to keep an eye on if you buy one of these N23s. The reason why I'm choosing the N23 is, for one thing, it's still one of the hottest Chromebooks out there in the educational market today. In fact, it's from what I've heard, it's in the top 5, if not the first spot, for one of the most popular Chromebooks used in schools today that have a bring your own device plan or some sort of one computer per child plan. Second, if you look around on eBay or in the used market, you can get some fantastic deals on these N23s. Now, new on Amazon, I just checked this morning as of June of 2018, and you're looking at spending about $200 if you want to get one of these. And it doesn't matter if you're looking at a 16 gig capacity, 32, 64. They start at 200 and they go up from there. So even though this model's been out for almost 2 years now, if not 2 years, it's still definitely holding its resale value, and the new price has not dropped off. I looked for one of these. I wanted an N23, just an entry-level model with a 3060 processor, which is one step above my Lenovo N22, which has been an absolutely stellar performer for the last 2 or 3 years. And I got one. I got one for 60 bucks with free shipping. It was a fantastic deal. Now, the person I'm buying it from claims to only have used it once or twice, a total of about 9 hours. They bought it, they wanted to try the Chrome OS, they decided to just put it back in their computer bag and they hadn't touched it. We can check the manufacturer date on the bottom too to see just how old it really is and see if it has any kind of warranty left over. So let's go ahead and get started on the unboxing. We'll talk about the specs on the N23. We'll do a head-to-head comparison between the N22 and the N23, which you might be surprised, there's very little price difference in the used market between an N22 and an N23. See if there's any kind of a performance with the N23, and then give you some tips and advice that you can follow to pick out an N23. So whether you're buying one new or used, if you're a parent or a student or somebody who's just curious, let's check out the Lenovo N23 and see what the big deal is. Alright guys, stay tuned. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into it. So as you know, just like with anything used, you never know what you're going to get until you get it. You like to think that the descriptions match on eBay what the person says about the item. I did question the person selling this Chromebook. I did ask him a few questions about it, and the guy gave me even more detail about the use and the wear and tear on the device. Basically, like I mentioned before, he said he'd used about a total of 9 hours. Used it once or twice, decided that the Chrome OS was not the thing for him. So his loss is my gain. So let's go ahead and get this out of the package here real quick. So again, like I said, look around. You can really get some good deals on these, especially if you don't want to spend the money on something new. It's one of those decisions you got to make if you want to go new or used. This is the third used Chromebook that I purchased so far in all the Chromebooks that I bought in. Okay, so here we've got your charger, little cable. I'm assuming you can use the same one as the N22. I'll go ahead and verify that here in a few seconds, but a little 2-piece unit you can plug in. The N23 is supposed to have a 7-hour battery life. Kind of depends if you're streaming a lot of video, if you're listening to a lot of music, if you're doing any kind of gaming at all. Alright, let's just go ahead and get it out of here. Okay, so the outside of the case, now here's the deal. The outside of the cases on these, they use a really rugged, durable plastic. It's not going to be easy to tell wear and tear from the outside of the case. You can look for some scuffs and scratches, and this one all the way around is basically immaculate. Design is nearly identical to the N22, except there are some sharper edges. It's a few millimeters shorter, some more sharper edges around the back. It's less rounded, less bulbous, I guess you could say. You still get the cool carry handle, which is one of my favorite items that they have. This looks like it has a little more spring retention to it than my N22 though, but again, makes transportation much easier. You do have the swivel camera on it also, so let's go and check it. So this one does have the Intel N3060 processor, which was crucial for me to get one. So let's see, March 4th of 2017 is when it was manufactured. March 4th of 2018 is when the warranty expired, so I'm using this one without a warranty. Looks like we have some different design feet on the bottom too. And this is a little drip hole that moisture will come out of if you happen to get water on the keyboard, because they have sealed keys or sealed keyboards that are designed to allow liquid to pass through them without ruining and shortening out the machine. Very little wear and tear on the bottom of it. Everything looks really good, so let's go ahead and open it up. It should fire right up if the battery has to charge. That's the other thing. Just because I've got something that's only been used a couple times doesn't mean the battery's going to be 100%. There's a chance that the battery could have been used a lot or not, or if you buy one that's a year old, if it's been cycled on and off hundreds of times. Batteries and parts are readily available if you don't mind to tinker on these. Repair guides are available online, videos on YouTube, so you can fiddle around with them a little bit if you just want something to mess around with. Oh yeah, the bezel, definitely a little bit sharper design than what I had on my my N22. The keys look about the same. They have keys that are resistant to being popped off and pried off. Now I don't know if you can tell on this, but an easy thing that you can see here, you see no shiny spots, no hot spots on the keyboard or on the trackpad, and that's a good sign that the unit has been used very little, if at all. After a couple months, you start to get some polished spots on the keys and the keyboard, also on the trackpad. So I'm gonna believe the guy when he says he's only used it for about 9 hours. Looks like he's pulled off the little plastic seal that goes over the camera, and that's fine too. So again, N23, we know it's the right model. Let's just go ahead and give you the quick specifications on this model, what you can expect, height, weight, performance, and so on, and we'll see if we can get it fired up, get it registered, and do a little head-to-head comparison with the N22. Okay, so just wanted to show you real quick what I was talking about. On my N22, you can see how we've got this shiny spot here, and some of the keys, I mean, they're not like a matte finish to them anymore. They've got definitely showing lots of signs of wear and tear. So if somebody says, oh yeah, I've only used it 5 or 10 hours, and you've got key wear like this, and you definitely know that they are not telling you the truth. And again, these things were designed to be very durable, very rugged. We'll get to the features here in just a little bit. Also, when it comes to hinges, I have opened and closed my N22 many, many times, and the hinges still have a nice tension to them. So that's not necessarily a gauge as to how much the thing has been used. I think just maybe general hours of use and just mechanical shape when it shows up are going to be the two biggest things that you should ask about and look for. Okay guys, so it took me about 30 seconds to get signed in and to get the Chromebook updated. This model, okay, this is the N23. It does have the Celeron N3060 processor. You got 4 gigs of RAM, you got 16 gigs of eMMC flash memory, so it doesn't have a traditional hard drive, but it does have more or less a micro SD card or flash memory card in it. It's going to work fine for what you need. Now again, this is one of the smallest amounts of storage space that you can get. So if you can snag one with 32 or 64 gigs of storage space, I'd recommend you going that route. Although I'm currently using 3 Chromebooks with 16 gigs of storage space, and I've yet to run out because so much is saved in the cloud. You've got 2 USB 3.0 ports. You do have an HDMI output. You do have Bluetooth 4.1, which is also good. Built-in HD webcam with microphone and a built-in media reader. So in other words, you can use an SD card reader on the side, which is also nice. The weight is only 2.76 pounds, and that's one of the best things about it. You hardly know you have it on you. Weighs less than most school textbooks these days. Measures 0.9 inches thin. It does have a 1366 by 768 resolution and Intel HD graphics. It's a 400 Intel integrated card, which is fine. It'll do basically what you need to know. It's an 11.6 inch HD LED display. Does have a 3-cell lithium ion battery, which is rated for 7 hours. As like I mentioned before, it does have 802.11 ACNBG, whatever. It's got all the specs that you need for Wi-Fi, so you should be good to go. That RAM, by the way, is DDR3 SRAM, which is okay, not the fastest stuff out there, but it's decent. Dimensions are 11.8 inches by 8.4 inches by 0.92 inches, and the color is black. Okay, so on the left we got my trusty N22, and on the right we got the N23. Just visually, just glancing at them, they look about the same. Definitely major differences. This is more rounded, more bulbous all the way around. Everything's got curves and is kind of smooth and soft, and your N23 is a lot more angular, a lot more modern looking, very flat in the front. Keyboards appear to be more or less the same. I don't notice a lot of difference between them. They look like they're the same size. They've got the same layouts, the same buttons, and so on. Trackpads feel about the same. This one has kind of a little angle off the back. N23 is straight all the way around, or straight all the way across. Looking at the right hand side of this one, you kind of have some curves there going on, so we can focus in on that for you. And you got that little Kensington lock device over there you can put on it. But again, just more rounded all the way around. Nothing wrong with the design, it's perfectly fine. Like I said, if you can get an N22 really cheap, you know, go for it, but you might like the enhanced performance of the N23. And I'll talk about the processors here in a second. Just looking at the bottom. Again, you can see how it's got rounded feet on it. It's more curved. This is your N22. Again, not a big deal, just talking about some of the features. Both the N22 and the N23 have reinforced hinges, which is awesome because myself as a high school teacher, common problems I see with laptops are hinges that wear out, broken screens from kids slamming the screens, kids opening and closing using the corners, which causes the hinges to wear unevenly and causes the hinges to wear out. Keys that get pried up and popped up, drinks that get spilled on them. I've pretty much seen it all. But again, having, not that I want you to go pour, a can of Coke over the keyboard, but both of these, N22 and N23, both have the water dripping. It allows the water to run off the keyboard. No guarantees it isn't going to damage the machine, but it is designed to handle so many ounces. Okay, now over to the N23. Again, virtually the same idea all the way around. Much more straight. Less angular going on, much more slab-sided on the sides, which is fine. Okay, you got your HDMI port right there, and you got your USB port over there. Right-hand side, you got a USB 3.0 port also, and again, your Kensington lock device. And the bottom, like I said before, it's just square feet, same kind of rounded bottom, but they're using a very similar design. There's only so much that Google allows manufacturers to do these Chromebooks, which is why there's so many features that they have in common. Camera on this one sticks out a little bit, but it does rotate back on the N22. Okay, N23, more flat up in the front. You got your microphone up there. It has a little mic picture. And then you can also rotate it back, which allows you to film. They call it like a real world view camera and so on. Go and close it up. A little bit of padding on the sides, which is nice, would prevent the screen from getting crushed, although these are very durable. Okay, plastic feels about the same. N23 has the four little, well, not four, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8 little nubs all the way around, which is fine. Go and close it up. And again, this one's got stickers all over, but again, a lot more rounded, a lot more flat. Again, not a big deal, but just kind of showing you some of the main differences between the two. But under the hood, the 3060 versus the 3050 processor, that's where you're going to see a lot of differences. And so what I'm going to do is just go ahead and run an Octane benchmark test, and we'll see if there's really any difference between them. From what I've seen and from what I've researched, the 3060 has about a 30%, well, I guess you could say, performance boost over the 3050. And let's go ahead and check those out. Okay, so without getting too technical here, the N22 had an Octane score of 6852. Google Octane, or Octane 2.0, is a test that I like to run on Chromebooks. It just gives me a basic benchmark figure, and it runs all these different kinds of tests on it and gives you scores, and it gives you an average score. So 6852 on the N22. I did these tests twice and got very similar results both times. N23 has an Octane score of 8749. And again, you're looking at almost a, let's see, 240, almost 25% performance increase with the N23. And just looking at head-to-head of the individual test scores, this performed anywhere from 20 to 50% better overall. So I would just recommend, for the money, shooting for an N23 instead of an N22. Just real quick about the processor, I forgot to mention this. It has a 1.6 gigahertz Intel Celeron D, the N23 does, with a speed burst feature that goes up to 2.8 gigahertz. It is a dual-core processor, so it can kick it into overdrive when it needs to on more of your graphics-heavy applications. And just using it, just in general, if you're going to be using Google tools, you're going to be using Microsoft Office Suite on it, you're not going to have any problems at all. If you're using Office 365 in the cloud, or you're using the Google Suite with, Google Docs and Google Drive and all that fun stuff, you're going to be fine. You don't have to worry about it. I've used this one heavily with all sorts of different applications. Really, there are no websites I have not been able to run on this. And we can just check YouTube here real quick. Let's just run a quick video test and just see what happens. Okay, all right, so let's go to my primary channel and let's just go ahead and check out how quickly it loads video. So this video was filmed at 1080p. Should be in high def on the screen. Loads an ad more or less immediately, which is cool. Let me show you how I did it. Go ahead and get past this here in a second. There we go. And then it loads up my video.
This is Travis. I'd like to welcome you back to the channel.
Let's go full screen and check it out.
The Apple PowerBook G4 High Resolution Edition.
No problems there.
When this little technological powerhouse.
Let's see. Let's turn this up to 1080p and see what happens.
1.67 gigahertz power.
No problems at all. Good. And like I said, I did film this video in 1080p, so you're seeing what it actually puts out. Things like Facebook, you're not going to have any problems with. You don't have to worry about that. Facebook pops up. Again, just thinking about things that kids like to use, it's generally not a problem. eBay. Again, you can have multiple tabs open, no problems there. And finally, Amazon. So again, like I said, as being a Chrome user for about the last 3 years, I'm very happy with what Lenovo's putting out. They're putting out a pretty solid product. And I tell you what, let's bring it back and have a few final words and we'll call it good. Okay guys, so if you're a parent or a student who's in the market for one of these and you've never used one before, just rest assured you're going to be fine. They're stable, sturdy machines that do hold up well to classroom use. Like I said, I've been using mine for a couple of years now and not had any problems with it. Now don't forget, you can also get these with, like in yoga models that have touch screens and again, higher capacity hard drives. You're pretty much limited to whatever you want to spend. And like I said, this is just the absolute bargain basement model. Now, the only thing I will say, and unfortunately I don't have one of these to test out, is there is the Lenovo 100E that's out there now, and that's the replacement for the N23s. They have a 100E, a 300, and a 500E. If your school's looking at going that route, I had a chance to play around with the 100E at an electronics trade show. It was very cool. It seemed just as good as the N23, even sharper edges, even better performance. Those cost around $200 also, so do keep that in mind. But again, the N23 just seems to be that standard that right now, as of 2018, is a model that many schools have been going with, so just keep that in mind. So that's it guys, this is your ultimate buyer's guide to the Lenovo N23. What do you need to know? Again, battery life of between 7 to 10 hours, a weight of around 3.1 pounds. Excellent performance figures. It can handle just about all of your internet tasks without any issues. And don't forget, you can work offline with Google Drive and Google Docs, as well as many of the other Google tools that are out there. So there's a lot of things you can do even when it's not connected to Wi-Fi. But otherwise, guys, I think you would be making yourself a stable, safe purchase if you had to get an N23. So that's it, guys. Thanks for joining us today. We got a lot more computer reviews coming your way. I'm going to get this guy plugged in, get the battery charged, and mess around with it for a little bit. If you like what you see, please like or subscribe, and you can check me out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I've got a few other YouTube channels that are out there. You guys can definitely check them out. If you want to support me, guys, it's patreon.com/TravisP11. Always looking for supporters for the channel. We'll be bringing you a lot more tech reviews in the future, a lot more items coming your way. So guys, that's it. I want you to have fun. I want you to be safe. And as you know, we will talk to you soon. All right, have yourselves a great summer and have an even better school year coming up. All right, bye-bye.